Lightworkers Unite is a podcast and social show hosted by intuitive women, lightworkers, and most importantly, friends, Mayume and Manjeet. Welcome to our podcast, Lightworkers Unite, where we believe there is a lightworker within all of us.
Whether you are a medium, an educator, or a nuclear medicine technologist, there is a lightworker within you, and we have work to do.
This is a safe and sacred place where lightworkers connect, grow, and learn.
And share our light with the world.
Well, hi, it's been so long, Manjeet. It's been a long time. I'm sure our listeners are wondering where is Mayume and Manjeet? Where are they? It's summertime. It's summertime.
It's summertime. Yeah. So where have we been? Where have we been?
Oh,
You've been, Mayume. Well, maybe let's ask it this way. Where has your heart been these last 3 weeks?
Boy, that's a loaded question. My heart has been up and down, up and down, up and down, in and out, up and over. All good stuff. I love summertime. It's my freaking favorite season. And I love the sun. And we've been having such gorgeous weather here in the Pacific Northwest. Gorgeous. Our family did a trip to Cape Cod to visit my husband's family. And then we went on a cruise to the Bahamas. Well, we went on half of the cruise, the Bahamas, because JetBlue canceled our flight from Boston to Orlando, and we missed actually our ship departure. How does that happen, right? That absolutely sucked. So they flew us to Nassau instead, and we met the boat there and jumped on from there. But we missed out on an excursion. We missed out on 2 nights. I've never been on a cruise. So for those of you that love to cruise, have you been on a cruise?
Yeah, I did a Mexican Riviera cruise a long time ago, but I get really seasick, so it sucked.
Even on the big ones?
Yes.
I couldn't even feel it. I had no idea we were on a ship. None.
Yeah. I'm one of those weird people that can't.
No,
I can't
I can feel it. No, yeah.
I can feel, every little thing. It's not fun for me.
Oh, gosh.
But it was, I knew exactly when the boat stopped. And it would be like sometimes at like 5 a.m, it would like stop moving and I'd get out of bed. Like, we've stopped moving. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, no, we've stopped moving. I know we've stopped moving. And sure as shit, I can't.
Oh my God.
It's very interesting.
That is so interesting.
I'd be curious if other people feel this way. Like maybe it's,
I'm sure, because they sell Dramamine. They talk about it. Like if you get seasick. So I brought some Dramamine just in case, because I was like, we don't know how we are on a cruise. We've never been on one. We're great on boats. Are you okay on a boat? Like a ski boat?
If it's fast, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But the slow, steady. Oh my God.
I know, it's a weird thing.
Because this thing is basically Las Vegas on a boat. So, it had a mall. It had a full casino, a full mall. It had a theater. We watched the musical Grease one night. There was a comedy show. It had putt-putt golf. It had 3 pools. It had a library. It was massive. Royal Caribbean. It was water slides everywhere. It's just insane. And 5 dining halls. I don't even get it, but it was cool just to be like, oh my God, this is awesome. You just don't feel like you're on I had no idea we were on water until at night you go on the balcony and you're watching. And then it was kind of scary. John liked to watch or stand on our balcony at night, and it is black sky on black ocean. When there's no right. And so I'm like, this is just pure darkness. So you have to look down. You can see the boat lights and then the wake that it was making. Right. But I'm like, oh my God, people fall off of this thing and die. Like, it's scary shit. It is
Titanic much?
Yeah, that's right.
I'd go right to the Titanic with that shit. Oh God. But I know that's so exciting though, that at least you got some of your trip. And
we did swim with piggies. Does that count? That was awesome. Yeah. I will say that. So you want to know something that you'll find in the listeners. So when all the debacle of our flight being delayed, we're sitting at the airport waiting, kept getting delayed. And John's like, just cancel it already. We know it's going to get canceled. We're not departing at 3:35 a.m. This is ridiculous. But it wouldn't say cancel. So we wasted so much time. We should have just gotten in a car. We were trying to like get in a car and drive to Nashville and catch the 905. We like, we could go down to Charlotte. We were trying to get really creative. We had 3 agents helping us, American Express, Costco Travel, who booked our stuff, and JetBlue. So they just flew us out later. But though during this whole thing, my girls are looking at me, Mom, what do you see? What do you feel? What do you sense? Are we going? Are we even going to go? Right? Like, ask the psychic mom, are we even going to go? And I'm in total human mode of, I'm just trying to get us there right now. I can't think. So I stopped. I said, okay, because I was kind of like, what the hell's happening, universe? Are we not supposed to go on this cruise?
Oh, man.
So I sat, and all I saw when I closed my eyes, I'm like, show me what's happening. I saw a pig face, like right in my face, a pig. And I was like, we must be going, because our friends were swimming with the pigs. We were swimming with dolphins, and we couldn't get to swim the pigs because it was full and sold out. So I was like, we must be going, because the Joneses are swimming with pigs and I see pigs. So we must be.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So
Isn't this funny? Spirit is so funny.
So funny. I just saw the big, pig nose. So we get there. They cancel we can't do the dolphin because we boarded from land. The next day we're supposed to go on the coral reef and do snorkeling. Sorry, it's closed today because of the tide, but but you can swim with pigs if you want. So we looked at each other. Amanda goes, Mom saw pigs. So, and I was like, oh my God. So we swam with pigs instead. And that was actually kind of cool.
Psychic mom cute. For the win.
Yeah. A pig. I saw a pig.
I love that. That makes me so happy. I know. Isn't it funny how, like, your kids do that? Like, because they know that you're, you're psychic and you're connected.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting because you're right. When you said, I'm just like really in mom mode. Like I'm not there. Like I'm not
in that frequency. Sorry.
At all. Yeah. And so they're like, mom, we see what he's saying.
Yeah.
But you still managed to pull out the beauty.
Well, I figured I better ask. I was like, okay, I just need to get centered and ask, because I wanted to know myself, what is happening? Are we not supposed to go on this? And then I was worried, is something going to happen to the ship? Like, why aren't we not supposed to be on this boat? It happened to another two other families coming from other airports where their flight was canceled and they couldn't get there either. So there was 20 of us total that had to board from Nassau. And then, just as pure punishment, because we didn't get punished enough by missing it, we had to be the first to, is it deboard, unboard? What is it? Get off the ship.
Debark. I don't know. I feel like embark. No.
Embark. Deboard. I don't know. We had to depart. We had to get off the boat at 6 a.m. while the rest of the boat got to sleep in a couple more hours and stuff. But everyone had to get off the boat. And because we had to go through customs first. So the girls were pissed. We're waking up at 5:30 to be down below. And it was awful. That part. Anyway, there's so many silver linings and so many beautiful things about our trip. But it was really interesting, this little vacation. I said, girls, we'll never forget it. Right?
Yeah.
We'll never forget this one. Okay.
Yeah.
So
why
what about
do you think that happens? Well, I was just going to say, like, we're talking about like all these things that don't go as planned, right? Like that, all that stuff didn't happen as you planned it. Right.
Right.
And so, I mean, it just kind of makes me wonder, like from a spiritual perspective, like what was the
divine order? Because I believe in divine order, and I believe that we can't control everything. And sometimes we can have a mindset and an awareness and manifest and be powerful in that way. But I also believe that sometimes God says, you made a plan. Like the universe is like, sorry, this is actually what we're planning right now. So, I think what you're getting at is like, why, universe? Why did this happen? And is there something on a bigger scale, or was it my lesson? Was it John's lesson? Was it someone on the captain's lesson? I don't even know, like whose lesson is this? And and that's why I just had to really tell the girls. John was pretty okay. I should say he was like maybe we screw the cruise and let's just go on our own vacation. I go, what do you mean?
Oh.
He's like, let's just go somewhere else where he's 2 days on a cruise. Is it even worth it? I said, worth it. It's already paid for. I go, we have friends there that are waiting for us. So you're saying what? We're going to go like to the Keys and spend, at a hotel resort? And he's like, I don't know, maybe. And I couldn't be on board. No pun intended. On board with that because we have been together for 5 days already. And the kids don't want anything to do with us. They want their friends that are on the boat. And quite honestly, I wanted my friend too. I wanted to go drink with my friends. And so I was like, I love you, but I don't want the 5 of us to go anywhere right now, but on that boat.
Yes.
So he was like, all right. Cause he kept thinking it's not worth it. This isn't worth it, but we made it worth it. I think.
Yeah.
The last day at Coco Cay, for any of you Royal Caribbean cruisers, they have their own island, and you get off this boat and you walk onto this island and they're all welcoming you and dancing. And it's like the perfect day at Coco Cay. And that's where we swam with the piggies, and we rented this enormous cabana for the 2 families. And it was over the water, like off the dock, over the water. We had a water slide. We had free food and drinks, lobsters. It was heaven. So I'm like, just that one perfect day was worth it.
Was worth it. I love it. Yeah.
We needed 7 of those cabana days. If I had just 7 of those, I would have come back, reset, recharged, rejuvenated, and ready to go. But
Well, I mean, you can plan maybe that for the next trip, like just something like that, like an island retreat, instead of a cruise, or I don't know.
I don't know that we'll ever do a cruise. I can check that box. I don't know that I would be dying to go on a cruise ever again.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Right? I mean, John, definitely not. He wasn't psyched about it. But the girls, they're like, it was okay. Right.
Oh, good. Yeah. See, it's great though. I mean, what a wonderful, I always feel that way. I always feel like when things kind of just like, there's like resistance, like there's things that are stopping you from getting where you want to go, even though you really want to be there.
Yes. What is that about?
Something is happening. Right. And I think that's really, just a really powerful place in your life to look at is where in your life do we feel resistance and what do we do about it? How do we want to deal with it? And so I love the way that you've just kind of rallied your family and said, you know what? We're just we're creating options. I love how everybody had options.
Yeah. We still had to take action. We couldn't just sit there. Right. We had to still.
And I think that's a really important piece of conflict when you're in that resistance kind of conflict place is looking at options, right? Really understanding, okay, what can I do? And I love Johnny. Let's go here. Let's change the plan, right? Like he's like, let's shake this shit up, right?
Yeah.
And that really fits him, right? His personality is very like independent and, fuck it. We don't need to do that. Like, let's just do our thing, right? And then you're like, you know what? We're still going to honor our financial commitment. We're still going to honor being with our friends. Like there's a big pull to still honor these things. So I love that, that troubleshooting, that kind of like, what are the options available to me? And then making the most empowered choice for you.
Yeah, exactly. And every person, travel agent that I spoke to, I purposely, with the intention, was going to be kind. And I kept saying, I'm going to talk to someone who could understand me and speak perfect English because I really needed that. I need this communication to be clear. And I said, my intention was, I'm going to be so nice and kind, and they are all going to want to help us. I didn't want to show up with the resistance to like, listen, we got fucked here. What are you going to do about it? I was not coming with that attitude. So John and I agreed, like, we're just going to say, hey, this is a situation. And, it's a real bummer. And every single person we dealt with was kind and cooperative and felt bad for us and compassionate. So that was good, right? We didn't have any assholes, not one. So.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. So, I'm writing this down because this is like the formula. This is what I'm feeling.
This
you
is
ready?
what Manjeet does. I love it. Yeah, tell me.
Well, I think it's interesting because, you know, as a coach, I hear that a lot. I hear resistance. I hear that people are in positions of like, fuck, what am I going to do? It feels like the universe is against me here. Like, I don't know why I can't get where I need to go. You know, even like you're talking about a cruise, and for my clients, it's like their life purpose, right? Or they're they're talking about like, why am I feeling all this resistance? Is the universe upset with me? So I'm like listening to you saying these things, and I'm like, oh, this is so interesting that you know, we all bump into those things in our life that are they question us. They make us stop and think, where am I really supposed to go on this cruise? Like, am I really what am I doing? Right. So I love, like, I feel like the first thing that happens when you're in resistance is to look at your options. Number one. Number two is open your heart and embrace kindness, because that's how we communicate. That's how we're going to find our solution. Right.
And show up in the world by who you are. Yes. I was going to show up as a kind individual who needed help. Right. Yes.
Right. And, you know, and I love that because it's like this big open piece that, you know, you're embracing that kindness. But then I think the third thing here is, I love what you did, like connecting with spirit, right? That's what we do as light workers. It's an important piece of combating resistance, is saying, what does spirit want? What does my heart really want? And, you know, when you were envisioning the pigs, it was like, this is fun. This is joy. Pigs are super intelligent, right? They're family-oriented animals. Their symbolism there is fucking off the charts, right?
Right.
You know, so it's like such a beautiful way, I think, to encounter that. I call it like a spiritual resistance, or like, you know, your path resistance, anything that feels like, oh, this is way too fucking hard for me. I love that. So number 3 is like connecting with spirit, getting your answers that way. And then, I don't know, I think then it's about moving forward with what I call, you know, we talk about this a lot in like psychology and all of that, this growth mindset, right? Is embracing that mindset that challenges equal growth, right?
Yes.
Whenever we're like pushing up against any kind of challenge, that is actually spirit telling us there is something that wants to grow within you. Right?
I like it. I agree.
Right?
Yeah, because I feel like we're the growth or the lesson. What's the lesson? Right?
Yeah. And it's a really tough thing to do at the time. Like, I know during it, I'm sure it was like, this is horrible. This is horrible. You know, and you're deflated and you're frustrated. But I'm wondering if, you know, maybe following these 4 steps for folks might be really helpful, you know, to during those times to just,
I like that. Yeah.
What am number 1? What are my options? Right? What are my options? Number 2, open your heart to kindness. Number 3, consolidate your decisions. Like, make a decision that's in alignment with where you are in that moment. You know, I think number 4 was actually, or number 3 was invite spirit. Number 5, I don't know.
Yeah, right? 3 was invite spirit, and then number 4 was
and then make your decision.
Tap into your intuitiveness. Yes. Right.
Yes.
I mean, when we say tap into spirit, like tap in, sit, get centered, go within, and then say, okay, whether it's your higher self or God or the universe, whoever you want to talk to, okay, angels, what's going on? What do I need to know here? Show me what I'm supposed to do. I mean, I was kind of like, show me what the path is. I think just give me a sign of what are we doing? And then to see the pig face was like funny.
I love that. And believing that, right? That's a whole part of like, you know, the inviting spirit is believing it, right? It's not like you just access spirit. You have to really like go, okay, I'm going to talk about this pig. It sounds fucking weird, but I'm going to go there. I'm going to tell you about it, you know? And then in time, it usually makes sense. Yeah.
Well, it is so funny because I knew the minute I saw the pig, I knew the Joneses were swimming with pigs. So that to me was a sign like, we're going to go be with the Joneses. That's what I took at. Like, don't worry. And then we get there and we ended up swimming with pigs. So that's why Amanda's like, oh my God, mom saw pigs. And it was really for us, not about the Joneses, So it was great.
I know.
Yeah.
I love
it was
that.
Great.
It's really interesting how, if we look back, in our life, like for the listeners here, like, just taking your story, Mayume, of like resistance and like delay and frustration and like all of those things that were stopping you from like where you wanted to be. And if we extrapolate that in like for all of the listeners, like, where in your life has that happened to you? Like where in your life have you like been like, why can't I get there? What is stopping me from like actually being there? There's a whole process that's like happening there that is all about like, how do you want to see that adversity as well?
I like it.
I remember when I was traveling with, it was actually like a high school Washington, D.C. trip with, like a bunch of middle schoolers at the time, and I was one of the chaperones and everything was going beautifully. And those trips, right?
Yes.
They're like so regimented. Like you miss one thing, you're fucked. You're not going to see like the Lincoln Memorial or, like you've got to like everything has to just be seamless,
schedule,
right?
Yes. On schedule.
And they got to, yes. And the food and that like everything has to be it's all timed like by the hour, a lot of these.
Right.
And so everything was just unbelievable. Like we were on time. We saw everything, like every possible thing that we could have possibly wanted to see. We made it, except for the ride home. We got on the plane. We're in Baltimore, actually, and there was a bomb threat. And so all the planes were canceled. And, I'm like, got like 30 fucking middle schoolers there, right?
Yeah.
And everyone's personalities are so different. And so we had some kids that were like panicked and crying and freaking out. And then they get on the phone with their parents and they're freaking out and crying and panicking. And then there's all these other kids that are like, me. What are you gonna do? We'll get there. Like I trust my, guardians. We're gonna be fine.
That's
so
right.
Such a fascinating like observation for me to see like these personalities and how each group and how even the other parents and teachers were managing the stress. And I remember our leader, which was an awesome good friend of mine, teacher. She just shined. Like it was just like she knew exactly who to call. She did exactly what you did. She was getting options. She was showing kindness. She had figured out where we were going to be staying the night and had actually them bring us food. And like she had organized all of this. Like it was like her superpower. Wow. And I just remember thinking, when the apocalypse comes, I'm hanging out with that girl. I'm just saying, because that girl gonna sort some shit out. I was like, I'll do it. Like, okay, what are we doing? All right. I'm taking these 12 kids. Okay, where am I going? All right. I mean, it was so inspiring. Ooh. And then, it was just such an interesting thing because it really made me, and I ended up having a little talk with some of the kids because they were really freaking out, this one little group. And I said, life is tough sometimes. Yeah. Right? Like we're all going to bump into things that fall out of alignment and unravel us. And at the end of the day, it's up to us to decide how we're going to handle adversity.
Yeah. How are we going to react?
Right. How do you want to react to this situation? And this is something that, you guys can take for the rest of your life. Yeah. And these are young kids, right? So it's like you can look at this challenge as a way to grow or a way to feel defeated.
Right.
It was really that simple. Like some of these kids were like, oh my God, my life is horrible. I can't, but it's real for them. Like, and I don't want to downplay that, but it's a very visceral reaction to failure.
Right. Yes.
And I just thought, interesting how we can maybe, help our kids and help each other shift out of that a little bit into this, maybe these challenges equal growth for me somehow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I agree.
It was just
It's so true. And it is interesting with different personalities and how people react to change, or like you said, or the concept of thinking it's failure, or in this case, chaos, right? And disappointment, all of this, and just having a change of events. And I have 3 teenage, well, Elaine's not a teenager anymore. And these girls all reacted differently to this. And even John and I reacted differently. But John and I, thankfully, were a lot alike, where we were pretty calm. We weren't flipping out. We weren't angry. We had to manage the 3 of them from flipping out. And they were all different. But my middle, Amanda, is immediately anxiety driven, freakazoid, angry, frustrated, like, what are we going to do? It's like, my life is over. The vacation sucks. Blah, 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 blah. And then directs it on the leaders, on us. She is pissed at us. And I'm like, dude, why are you mad at us? We didn't do anything.
I know. Isn't it crazy?
Calm your shit, girl. I was like, I wanted to grab her by the throat and slap her a few times. Calm your shit. Jesus.
We do not condone violence to children on this podcast. Know, Public service announcement.
Yes. Snap out of it. Yeah. I just want to snap out of it. It's so interesting.
No, it is fascinating, isn't it? And and maybe that's part of it as maybe that was part of the growth for the family is I see each other in their roles and how they want to react differently, and I do know that about you, Mayume. And you're like this for me. You're very grounding. You're very calming. You're very efficient. Like, I mean, like, I know that when we're together, we could run a small country. Like, we can get shit done. And I love that about you. I love that you're very anchoring for me. Like, you're really good at that. I'm sure in a crisis like that, you're phenomenal, And so
I don't know about phenomenal. My girls did not see it that way. Yeah. It's so
but you know what? Maybe they did on an unconscious way. Maybe. I feel like, I think that happens, especially for teenagers, like very subconsciously. I think they see it, but they don't acknowledge it right now. But in a couple of years, it's all going to come back, and they'll say something like, remember that time when we were stuck at the airport? Remember, Mom, when you said this and you were just so calm, and I just really, like thought about that, or, I believe that. I believe that.
I hope so.
And it fucking better happen.
I think Dana showed my girlfriend, didn't show me. I didn't even see it. She had posted something about during this event because we were talking about it with her. And she showed my girlfriend something she posted. It's a picture of me like talking. And the caption was, don't worry. I don't know why the universe is doing this, but it's all going to be okay, or something like that. And she was making fun of me. And I was like, well, there you go. So I think for her to show because I'm like, what are you showing her? And I looked at it and I was like, and she was making fun, but in a way it was like, hey, this is my mom, like what she said.
This is my mom. I love that. I love that. You know what? We talk about this a lot too, especially when other people give us readings, right? It's like we feel seen.
Right.
Like that was a way for like you to, I think, like that's how we feel seen by our kids. It comes out in laughter and jokes and memes and shit like that.
That's right.
I just love that they're, these places of deep resistance in our life are just such weird and powerful places for observing the growth, whatever wants to happen. And I really believe that the growth is, if it's happening to you, it's your growth. So looking inward, right? In those moments of like, this isn't about anybody else right now. I mean, it's sure everyone else is being affected, but what do I want to take away from this moment? What is my personal growth during this absolute fucking shit show?
Yes. And see,
what am I going to take away?
I love that. And that is something to instill in these young people and that young generation that is stuck with their social media and the instant gratification of, trying to get to talk to people and communicate and find out where everyone is. And I mean, they're constantly, I don't even know how they live and breathe in that kind of lifestyle. We did not have to do that. And so I think we're more grounded than they are because of it. But as long as they have to figure out in a time of crisis, in a time of change, or like you said, adversity, where we're going to have to pivot, people, and we're going to have to do this together. So no one lose your shit, please. Can everyone just take a deep breath? And whatever is going to happen is going to happen. Right. And I'll always say the trust and surrender. I'm like, we're just going to trust that this is the plan. We're just going to go with it. You know? Either way, it's gonna be, I kept saying, it doesn't matter either way. We're going to be in the sun. We're going to be, we're going to be in the sun. And I didn't say we're going to be with our friends, but because I was like, what if we don't make the boat? Right. But I was like, we're going to be in the sun, and no matter what, we'll never forget this vacation. I just kept going with that. We'll never forget it.
I love it. Yeah. Anyway. Sometimes we got to shine the light on the only the pieces that, bring us joy, right? Or that at least bring us a little bit of that optimism. And I think
keep us moving. Yeah.
In the direction that is in the light, right? And it's not what light workers do, right? We have to find just the tiniest little sliver, like just a little crack in the window.
That's what I kept saying. There's a silver lining here, people, somewhere. Let's let's add it
somewhere.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know where, but
I had a few. Like, we got to come back and spend more time with their cousins, so they got to spend a day with their cousin Trevor, which because he wasn't able to go to the Cape with us, so that was awesome. We got to have dinner with our really good old friends who live in New Hampshire, the Fogs. So we got to do that. So I just feel like, all right, there's some things we got to do. Oh, we got to walk around the Atlantis Hotel. We took the girls there for sushi, and we let them gamble a little bit at the slot machines. And that's a fancy, awesome resort, the Atlantis. Hello, really? We love it. Yeah.
Awesome. Wow.
Yeah. So, there's that.
Yeah. It's I love that. You got to find that, and I mean, and I want to just honor, right? At the time, it's never great. And so, at the time, it's okay to feel like this fucking sucks. Yeah. I remember getting your little text message during it all. You were like, girl. And I love it. I love getting those because, I get this. I just send love and light. You always start with that. Just send love and light. Now I'm going to need it. And I'm going to tell you why. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get the little, the lowdown. And then I'm like, oh shit. I don't need all the we'll get into that minutia later. No, but
here's the bullet points of what's happening right now. Yeah.
And asking for help, that's great.
I did. I was like, I need just a little, I need someone to know that this is happening, and just to send some positive juju my way, please. Somebody.
Yes, let me give you my disco ball. It's right in my heart. I'm just going to push it out of you and bring it over there. Yes, our little disco ball. And so maybe when folks, if you're ever feeling blue or low or down, maybe just envision, take a nice deep breath and just envision a beautiful disco ball in your heart.
I love it. Sparkling and turning. Maybe it's playing music. Mine's playing music. It's playing ABBA, Dancing Queen right now. That's what I say. Love it. No, it is. I love it. And I had to do that a few times, where I had to stop and envision the beam of white light coming into my crown chakra and filling my body. I was like, okay, I just need to sit in this light right now. I just wanted to sit in it, because you can get really dragged into some low vibe frequencies when shit is hitting the fan, right? And all the personalities and just, oh God. So
yes.
But I love what you said. I love the formula. And I think this is beneficial for all of us to remember, kind of put that in the back of our head or write it down somewhere. When things come up, like why is it that we have a plan, and then for whatever reason, that plan is not coming into fruition? Instead, it's diverting us and causing us to go into a different direction, and being open to it, and maybe saying, okay, I guess I'm going this way, and trying to make the best of it with some options. Or I really like that. It's hard. And when you're in it, you don't see it like that. When you're in it, you're like, this is fucked. I'm pissed off. I'm frustrated. Everyone's hangry. And, and then my husband's wanting to like divert the whole thing. And we're going to go over here. And I was pissed at him. We're not changing the plan. We're not doing that far. I don't want to be with my friends. I don't want to be with you.
Stop it. Yeah, stop it. You're making it more chaotic.
Yeah.
Stop it. I know.
But
it's not as,
right.
yeah.
So,
but it's what a beautiful connection too, for you to like to kind of go through that, right? Like that, that is really, to me, that doesn't surprise me one bit about Johnny. Like he's so like, you know what? Let's flip the script. Let's change it. Let's go. Let's fix it. He's a fixer. He's a
fixer.
And his strategist.
So, yes, huge fixer.
He's like,
he was deflated though. He was like, fuck this. Like, it's not even worth it going for 2 days. He kept saying, and I wanted to say, no, it is worth it for 2 days. Like, when you have two different mindsets of like, one's like, screw it. It's not going to be worth it. It's going to suck. Let's just go over here.
Yeah.
Right. And where I'm like, oh, I'm not ready to throw it all away. I'm ready. Like, I think we can do this. Yeah. So that was, and I'm not to say that his idea wouldn't have ended up in maybe another beautiful, wonderful thing, right? With lots of surprises and silver linings. Who knows? But it is true. We just had to honor the differences and come to a decision. So
I love that. I love everything about this. I mean, what a beautiful, like,
you weren't there, sister. No, just kidding.
Process. Yeah, I know. I was there in spirit.
Yeah.
But to honor each other's process, right? Like you're honoring, like and I'm sure you're that, because what it looks like for somebody who's saying, fuck it, your energy looks like optimism. Your energy looks like, to them, right? It looks like, you know what? I'm not ready to give up on this. Let's just move forward. We're going to go one step at a time. Let's just go, go, go. That is also, I'm sure, one of the many reasons why he loves you, because you are up that way. You're an inherent, intrinsic optimist. You do see the sun. I probably am.
I think it drives him a little too crazy.
Oh, sure. Yeah. They don't. Yeah. But I think that's also a really beautiful, thing to honor about yourself too.
Thanks.
I love that.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Oh my God, crazy. This is so fun.
That was fun. Yeah. Welcome back. Yeah. Now, what are we going to talk about next week? We got things coming up. Well, we have our sister circle, but not till September, everyone. So get through your summer. We still have all of August. I hope you guys are doing something fun. We had to pull some events. If anyone knows, I mean, maybe you don't even know, we were going to try and do some platform demonstrations for public demonstrations for you guys and do some readings. But guess what? It just wasn't going to pan out, and everyone was busy with summertime and plans. So we decided to cancel those, and we're going to hold them for the fall. So be ready for that.
Yeah.
I think
get ready.
Fall's the time.
It's going to be fun.
I think so too.
Yeah. And the Lightworker Sister Circle is September 23rd, right? And it's going to be up in the Everett area this time.
Yes. We're going to be a little further north.
Determined.
Yeah.
But that's going to be really awesome. It's about liberation. Yeah. Freedom energy. Oh,
yeah. So and we're going to do some creativity in there. So yeah, this is going to be really, I think it'll be super fun and like giggly. That's what I feel like. Lots of laughter and giggly.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Cause isn't that freedom? Yeah. Like, isn't like that. It's really hard to be in that laughter energy and giggly when we're not feeling free. Right. So true. And you know how I must have freedom. And so I can feel in my energy when I don't have it, where I can't just do what I want to do or go where I want to go. It's very stifling for my energy. Yeah. And that's where I'll get stuck and depleted. So this, to me, I'm so excited about bringing in that power, that energy of liberation and freedom into a beautiful group of women. It's going to be so fun. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I can't wait. I can't wait. Too. I just love our little times together too. Yeah, I just really honor that. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of fun. So let's, we're going to have some more podcasts, coming up here. We've got some guests coming. And then we also have some really cool topics. We're going to be talking about, a lot of this stuff is coming out in the news about the UFOs and stuff.
I know.
I don't know if anybody's been
our favorite thing.
Following that. Oh my God. I am geeking the fuck out.
I know. What? I can't believe we didn't start with that. Yes. Yeah. That should be, we need to talk about that.
Yeah. And I've been listening to this podcast forever with, actually my neighbor, Pero. And I have this obsession with UFOs.
Yeah.
So it's this great podcast called Weaponized. And they talk a lot about these high level military people, right? That in the Air Force that have been actually documenting and seeing all this stuff. And so it's been really interesting to see it all come out in Congress now, like all these
finally being acknowledged.
These are people that I've been listening to on this podcast forever. And so it's just, I can't wait because we got to get our roller sleeves up and we're going to get into some nitty gritty stuff. Like, I mean, is the moon a satellite for aliens? Question mark. Question mark.
Oh, this would be so fun. Yeah. We get, not only can you and I just have so much fun with this topic, but we really need to get someone in who can give us some deets and some.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Stay tuned.
Yes. Let's do it. Okay.
Yes. Awesome. And I bring up that full moon because we're coming out of the full moon.
We are.
And so
we just had it.
That's right. So, I mean, if any of you are experiencing and feeling that beautiful moon energy, and, sometimes it comes across as feeling a bit chaotic. Some people get really tired during the full moon cycle. Some people just feel a little bit off with the full moon. Some people feel really connected to water. I'd be really curious to hear how you've been feeling with this particular full moon, because there's some weird energy around the full moon in August. Mm-hmm. We have 2 full moons in August. It's the first time that's happened in many, 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 many years. So it's
amazing. And on top of the Saturn retrograde, right? Which is a long ass time till November 4th we're in this. So that's a whole other thing. High emotions is added to the full moons and all this. So there's a lot of stuff. Cool.
Yeah, the Lionsgate portal is opened. Like, I mean, there's some crazy shit going on. So we are going to talk about that next week, I think, because we are running out of time today. But otherwise,
that's the topic next week. Okay. I know.
All right. Well, I love you. I love you.
I love you more. Thanks, guys, for listening. This was awesome. I'm glad we're back.
Okay. Bye, guys.